sisters, and welcome back to HB Ministries, a ministry for you to believe, behold, and become everything God has intended you to be, no matter what season of life. So if you are new and you're just passing by because you're like, ooh, vision board, and you're just kind of like watching every vision board out there, this is actually part of a workshop, and we are on our third thing this week in regards to clearing our grounds and getting ready to pitch our tent and dream big with God. So I am highly recommending that if you're new, you hit right here, the subscribe button over at heatherbaxter.com. And I will be sending you newsletters every single Thursday night with everything that's upcoming, and also our live studies that are on Friday. You'll get study notes in that. So that'll kind of get you into the swing of things, especially if you meet with me live on Fridays. However, I have already in this workshop filmed 2 important videos. One of them being claiming your word for this year. And I do that every single year. It's so important. So I'm encouraging you to watch this video right here, and that'll catch you up a little bit more. The next thing I'm going to encourage you to do is watch the video on making your prayer journal. And that is right here. So if you're new, check out those 2, and that'll bring you to our third session, which is on vision boards. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit on vision boards today. I'm going to show you some things on my vision board, but tomorrow in the live, you are going to see my updated vision board. And then we are going to be talking tomorrow in our live about Habakkuk, who was a dreamer, but who was a dreamer that was battling some things. So he was kind of dreaming in a valley. And I want you ladies to know that when you're in a valley, sometimes that's the best time to dream. When you're really facing the impossible, that is the best time to dream. And I'm going to talk to you about that at the end of today's video. So today is not necessarily me showing you how to set this up. I'm going to walk you through it at the end. Today, I want to give you knowledge about visions. We're going to jump more into that knowledge tomorrow. So again, if you can meet me live tomorrow here at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that is going to be awesome, because we're going to talk a lot about the scriptures that come across the word vision. I want you to understand that writing visions and dreaming with God is biblical. You will see a lot of YouTube videos on there that believe that vision boards are new age. Yes, vision boards can be new age. They can be taken in the wrong direction. You believe God's a genie in the bottle, and you can just, ask for certain things and just, demand certain things, and then believe in the manifestation that people do in the earth. We have to be careful with that. But does God want to manifest his favor? Does God want to manifest his Holy Spirit? Absolutely. So there's like a fine line in this language. And that's what I want to share with you briefly today. I want to be able to draw the line and help you see the difference between the two, because you really need to understand that, so you are dreaming down the right avenue, if that makes any sense. And again, if you are just passing by and you're watching this later and it's not even January anymore and you're kind of wondering about this, I'm going to say head over to heatherbaxter.com, and whatever month we're in right now, I guarantee you we're studying something. And I want you to just join the ministry, because I want you to jump on board. We're always growing in knowledge, wisdom, and discernment here. Always. So whenever you're watching this, there's something here for you. But if you're just coming on right now, I want you to catch up really quick and spend the rest of January with us, because it's going to be really good, and we're getting some solid things to just put together so our foundation is really strong as we run out the rest of 2021. And let me get started first by saying awesome job to every single lady that has been chatting with me over at our community group at HB Women's Ministry on Facebook. You have been sharing videos, pictures. You've been sharing your word of the year with me, the verse that matches the word of the year with me. You have also been sharing your prayer journals. Blessing my heart. Like, I cannot wait to get up in the morning and see what God is doing in your lives, ladies. It's so awesome. And I thought that this virtual part was going to be hard for me, being that I was always in a church and working with women and being able to see them and stuff. But this is actually fulfilling me, just hearing you and listening to you ladies communicate with each other, and that this community is building, and I can see that God's hand is anointing it. It just blesses me to no end. I cannot thank you enough for your involvement, because that encourages me, especially during this kind of silent time in our life. But good job if you're finding your word. And if you haven't found your word, I want to just let you know to just sit and rest. Sit and rest. Ask the Lord to press it upon your spirit, and you will hear it from somewhere. If I could tell you some of the stories of ladies that have direct messaged me and told me that they waited and it just like happened, and they knew without a shadow of a doubt that was their word. Just wait on it. It'll come. And God might give you a few words, and then he might show you something, or it might pop up in a magazine, or somebody could be saying something. I mean, you'll know that you know that you know. The second part was your dream journals. Ladies, I am thrilled to see some of your journals that you have posted over in our community group. So exciting. Again, your word is important, because in my dream journal, I place my word on the front page right here. I have my Bible verses about my word on the front page. And then anything else I feel like I want to brain dump about my word, I have down on here. So very important. Your word is going to come with you on your vision board and in your prayer journal. It's an important part of your foundation for this year. Also, I wanted to tell you, because I've been also getting a little bit of messages on the tabs that I use. I am going to do a video I hate that word, specifically for you next week on this journal and on the tabs. I had a few people asking, what does exactly adoration mean? How do you go about that? How do you enter into that time? I'm going to show you what I do. Also, some of you have been asking about confession. What does that look like when we have that time with God? What does thankfulness look like? So I'm going to kind of show you the rhythm of what my morning routine looks like. How do I enter into prayer? How do I know what to write on, and where do I go with that? Now remember, every single month, based on what we're studying, our Bible study notes back here, if that's where you're going to be putting them, are going to trigger sometimes the adoration, the confession, and the thanksgiving. A lot of times what we're going to study is going to trigger. A lot of times what you're hearing in a sermon is going to trigger. So this is going to become your own rhythm, but I'm going to show you that next week. So for anybody that's wondering about that, hold on, because I'm going to take you right through that. Because that journal is going to be part of our life all in 2021. Something else I wanted to point out is the Dream Big book. Many of you have asked, is this dream book something that we need to have for this Dream Big workshop? Absolutely not. Dream Big is just part of the HB Book Club. It's a completely different club that I started a long time ago, because I love to read. I'm definitely a reader. And there are women in that book club that are not even in the ministry. And some of them that are in the ministry have never been in the book club. So it's two ways of kind of reaching people. And then sometimes people aren't in the season to dive as deep as we all are over here quite yet in the book club. So I don't know. I just think it's a great, it's just a great thing to have. If I'm reading, I might as well do it with a group of people. That's how I always think about it. So let me tell you the importance of a vision board first. So if you're not convinced on this whole vision board thing and you're still skeptical, let me tell you why it works, ladies, and why it is so important, and why we really need to do this. There are two important things that you need to know about a vision board, okay? And if you know these two important things, they will literally transform your life. I promise you. I promise you. Again, I've been teaching this Dream Out Loud conference for 15 years plus. It has been something I have hit off in churches every January. I've been in country clubs. I've been in churches. I've been in conference halls teaching this. Sometimes the material changes, the way I present it changes, but I'm telling you, it is amazing. So these two things that I want you to understand. And here's the first thing that you need to know. First things first, I need to know that I'm talking to spiritual people, okay? Spiritual people, meaning people of the faith, people that are believing there is a God, that God is God. I mean, that is one of the most important things in the way that I view my vision board. That has to be the foundation, because there's a lot of vision boards out there and people that create vision boards and videos out there on vision boards, but I don't know if they would say God is God. They may say higher power or the manifestation of this. I just want you to know that it is really important, if you're going to hear me out on the way we're going to do a vision board, is that I'm talking to spiritual people. Another important thing that makes this vision board and the vision board that I'm going to teach you so incredible is anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. There is no programs that you need to sign up for. There is no fee that you need to sign up for. There is no nothing. Like, you can do it if I share these two things with you right now and you already understood the basics about God is God. Anybody can do this. So I would not say to you, sign up for this program, or guess what, sign up for this and you're going to receive this. Like, you can do this. Number one, you have not because you ask not. You have not because you ask not. The Bible tells us that in James 4:2. Now remember, we're going to learn to dream according to God's will. We have to be careful not to ask according to our ways. But as we learn and study Habakkuk and Nehemiah, and we study the will of God this year, the Lord's going to begin to speak to you about what you have on your vision board. And you may see things changing and moving, because as you're asking, God is providing. And sometimes he's providing in ways that we would not have expected. And that is exactly what's going on in my vision board right now. And I'll share that when I turn it around in a second. Exactly. A lot of things that I was casting last year, the Lord's doing, but completely in a whole new way. And so that's why we need to be really careful. We can ask, but remember, God's going to provide the answer. But we need to ask, because if you don't ask, then you're never going to know the direction. You're never going to know the roadmap. Like, you need to know that. You need to know that. So it's really important. You ask, you have not because you ask not. Think about that and write that down. He is going to give to you because he created you. So he's going to give the desires of your heart. He's going to place them in you because he's gifted you a certain way. Now, how you're going to get there, that's the mystery. That's the part of the relationship. And if he gave us all the answers right away, there'd be no need for a relationship. So as we engage in the vision, we're going to engage in the relationship. You take a relationship out and you leave the vision, we've missed the whole point. So that's really important. That's why I said God is God, and it is important that we have that. He is God, and the more that we ask, the more that he's going to give, and the more that he's going to push into our relationship, because that is key. He loves you. The second part that I want you to understand, okay, so number one, says you have not because you ask not, and number two is write it down. Write it down. These are two very, very, very important things. Write it down. In Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2, which we're going to study all this coming week. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be talking to you in the live study all about Habakkuk tomorrow. Habakkuk 2:2. You're going to be getting your study notes tonight. So if you're not subscribed to heatherbaxter.com, be sure to do that, because you're going to be getting your study notes. Like I said, every Friday you get study notes, and you can start putting those in your war binder. But Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision down and make it plain. That means you make it plain. Like I've always taught, you're not going to go into a Mexican restaurant and order a taco and just say, I'll have a taco, when you know exactly what you want on the taco. You may not want onions. You may want extra cheese. You may want extra guacamole. You might want sour cream, but you might want your sour cream on the side. You might want chicken instead of beef. You might want a hard shell instead of a soft shell. I mean, you have to be specific. The Lord already knows the plans he has for you. And it tells us that in Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you. I know that I have a hope and a future for you. He knows. But he's waiting for you to ask so he can begin to move some pieces around. When you sow, he grows. But he will move things around, but he'll make you in tune to that. And that's why we have our prayer journal, so we can become sensitive to how he's playing the game with us, where he's taking us. But remember, again, it's all about the relationship. It's all about the relationship and what he's growing in us. Maybe he's growing patience in some people. Maybe he's growing joy. Maybe he's growing faith. Maybe he's growing grace. Maybe he's growing forgiveness. It just depends. We're all in a different place. So based on our vision, the Lord also knows where he's growing you and what he's doing with you. So it's very important to write it down and be able to look at it every day and be able to have it in front of us every day. So my vision board is here in front of me every day. My Peloton bike is here that I'm on early in the morning. I can see my vision first thing in the morning. So when my word, which is going to be switched out, last year my word was risk. This year, my word is efficiency. I'm going to have different things on here. So when I'm on my Peloton bike, I'm going to be like, well, wait a minute, I'm getting off. I got to be efficient. So when I see the word efficiency and I see some clocks that I already cut out and different things like that, that's going to remind me of my word, which my word is rooted to a lot of my visions on there. So that's just important for you to know. Next year, we're going to be able to check things off. Now, when I go back to this board, yes, I can check things off. But there's also some things on this board that are still in the tarry moment. In Habakkuk, it says, run with it, though it may tarry. Keep running because it will come to pass. So there are some things that are still in the running and I can see that they're happening, but it's like God's shifting a lot of stuff, but they're still happening, but not in the way that I thought or I dreamed out. So now I'm going to stick to that vision, but I'm also going to update some of the things God has done according to that, and then just continue to pray about them, but know that God is shaping that, if that makes any sense. So if it's your first time ever putting a vision board on, this board I've had forever, and I just change out the pictures over and over and over. That's why I love cork boards, because I move my pieces around, but otherwise the structure stays the same. The word vision stays the same. I just kind of update some of my words, pictures, new things that have come to pass, books that were published, I'll put on there, new books with new titles, I will put on there. All of those things that I feel are the up and coming for 2021 that I really want to put my hands to and believe God's favor on, I'm going to put those on that vision board. I also want you to know that this week we're going to study about visions in the hard places. A lot of times in the valley where the bones are broken and they're decayed and you just feel like you can't even get up in the valley, those are the bones you need to attach to your vision board. I'm going to say that again. Those are the bones you need to attach to the vision board. If there's depression, you're going to post a picture of depression and a picture of something happy. If it's anxiety, you can post that. If you're going through a health struggle, post it. And then you're going to show the opposite of it. A vision is what could be and should be according to the will of God. Now remember, in the middle of that vision, God could be building other people's characters and using you. So always have the mind of God. And that's hard, but that's what we're going to learn. We're going to learn that in the next 3 weeks. The mind of God as we're casting visions. That makes this vision board very, very, very different than the New Age vision boards and the manifesting vision boards. Because we have to have the eyes of God when we're doing this. Because it says in the Bible, my ways are not his ways. His ways are much higher than my ways. And so we have to understand that as this is going on. Because we don't know what's going to happen in 2021. I don't know what's going to happen to any of my family members, the health of any of our family members, but I'm not going to live in fear. I'm not going to hold out and sit back and, be in fear that something's going to happen. I'm still going to cast those visions and know that God's going to work through everything, the good and the bad. But if I'm close to him and I have a vision down, I'm not going to get distracted by the detour, if that makes any sense, because we had huge detours this last year. The detours that we've had this past year, almost going on 2 years, have really affected a lot of what I did. Working in churches, speaking, all of those things have completely changed. But the vision hasn't changed. The direction has changed. And I'm so glad that I was sensitive to God with that. Otherwise, I would have felt stuck. So I'm hoping that our Bible study through the year is going to help us when we have detours, whatever the detour may be. So I hope that helps a little bit today. Again, tomorrow you're going to see more. I'm going to show you my vision board before the live study. I'm going to kind of chat with you a little bit about it. And then we're going to go into the study and talk about Habakkuk. So thank you so much, ladies, for meeting with me today. It is such a joy. If you were all there and I could see your faces, I pretend that I can see all your faces. I would just be giving you a big hug in person right now. But if not, here's my virtual hug to you. Virtual kisses. I love you. And also I have to give one shout out because I just have to. Renee, who is a follower of us, sent me Happy Mail today, and she sent me no drama for this llama. And I love it because that's exactly how I'm entering into 2021. No drama for this llama. I'm going to focus on my vision board, and I'm going to kind of remember this. No drama for this llama. Like, I am staying God focused.